Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, in spite of the fact we found that connection to who was probably most likely using a quantum computer last night, unfortunately, uh, unless the answer stops and starts with Perry Stone Ministries, which I doubt it does, we got to keep going, right? So I did that tonight. I'm trying to get to some of these songs we already have charted, and tonight I decided we're going to start on Metallica Fade to Black. And I decided this time what I should have been doing all along. Yeah, here it is. It's right here. Am I on it? Nope, that's it. Here it is. It's right here. All right. There it is. Metallica Fade to Black. It's a 1.6% variance, all right? And that's where it sits in the chart. I think that's it. I'm pointing to it, right? Nope. This is a tough one to hit. It's right here. That is Metallica Fade to Black at 1.6%. All right. Well, in this song you had in order to change to will and aren't changed to not. So to changed straight over to will and nothing will cross off. So you wind up with TOWILL. All right. But aren't, the N and the T cross off because they're the same in the chain, both the original and the change. And you wind up with AREO. So we brought that over. AREO. All right. Well, time to find out if it fits the pattern that we have. And we're going to find this out in several parts. All right. This is going to be part one. It does fit one pattern for sure. So let's get started. TOWILLAREO. TOW ends up being Tower Semiconductor Ltd. on the Frankfurt Exchange. Uh-oh. Here we go. The stock market. T is AT&T on the New York Stock Exchange, of course, which could be a coincidence if it didn't code all the way forwards and backwards, right? O by itself is Realty Income Corporation on the New York Stock Exchange. I even think I left out I by itself because I think it's on the New York Stock Exchange as well. But there's a lot to get through. OWI then is One World Lithium Incorporated on Bloomberg. Then you got WI, which is Western Investments or Western Investment Company of Canada Ltd. I'll provide these links on MarketWatch. WIL is Barclays Women in Leadership, ETN, on the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA. I'm not sure what that is. I'll look into that sometime, guys. NYSE, I know that's New York Stock Exchange, right? At least I'm pretty sure. It's a market, though. IL is Intralinks Holdings Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange. LL is Lumber Liquidators on the New York Stock Exchange. Yes, we have hit Lumber Liquidators on a couple, several different occasions before. Also AT&T and whatever I is. I'll try to look that up here, guys. I do have a blank page open. So then you've got LLA, which ends up being Land and Leisure's A on Bloomberg and Investments.com. Bloomberg, I was having a hard time getting into that, but we got into investments or investing.com just fine, so that's the link I'll probably provide. But it's on Bloomberg too. We've had that before. LAR ends up being Lamb Research Corporation on the Frankfurt Exchange. but you've also got research there, right? I don't know what they research. Maybe I should research that. That could be a thing that's important. Um, I'll get into that in a minute. AR ends up being Antero uh, Resources Corporation on the New York Stock Exchange. RE, we're still going forwards, guys. We haven't even come back yet. So RE ends up being Everest RE Group Ltd on the New York Stock Exchange. EO ends up being Faurecia SA on the Euronext Paris. EPA, it's a stock market, apparently over in Paris. That gets you through going forwards. All right, that got you through going forwards, minus this I by itself, which I'm fairly certain means something. And let's just see if it does. If the internet's working at the moment. I was wrong, guys. I thought I'd seen I by itself before, but I must have not. No matter, nonetheless. That gets you through going forwards. And by the way, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 10 letters, guys. 10 letters, and we've got, so far, we've came forwards through these 10 letters. Now we're going to go backwards and do the same thing. OE is OE Credit Union. Now that's not on the stock market, but it popped right up there, and it's finance, right? So OE Credit Union. All right. ER ends up being East Main Resources Incorporated on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. ERA ends up being ERA Group Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange. E we know is E-Trade by itself. We've had that before. E we also know is the mathematical constant, along with all this stock market stuff. Imagine that. So moving on, RA is Brookfield, RIASINSBN or BEN INT. Yeah, hope we got that right on the New York Stock Exchange. Then RAL ends up being Raleigh SA EPA, or on the EPA, which we learned was Euronext Paris. AL is Air Lease Corporation on the New York Stock Exchange. ALL ends up being Allstate Corporation on the New York Stock Exchange. And we got LL again, but we already know that's Lumber Liquidators, right? LLI ends up being Lakeland Industries Incorporated on the Frankfurt Exchange. LIW ends up being LIWE Espanola SA on Bloomberg. LI ends up being American Lithium Corporation on Bloomberg. I think we had that going forwards too. Maybe we didn't. Anyway, American Lithium Corporation on Bloomberg. IWO is iShares Russell 2000 Growth Index on the New York Stock Exchange. IW is Imagineware Systems on Market Insider. WO is WO Group on Market Watch, and OT ends up being OT Finance. And I was going to read a little bit about OT Finance, if that happens to still be up at all. OT Finance is an independent business consultancy specialized in corporate finance. It advises, finds, and negotiates the best solutions in structured finance. So, equity investment, project finance, equity investment. LBO, and M&A structuring. So yeah, they do a host of things there. And that gets you through going forwards and backwards on the stock market / finance category. And we easily did that. So out of those 10 letters, we got, so far, all of this data. So far. Now, above this line was our thing from last night, remember? He is appropriate to give the one species versus one youth, and it is settled. That came above that line. But yeah, everything else below this here line, guys, all came out of those 10 letters in finance. We haven't even hit genetics and chemicals yet, and you know what? I don't know if it's going to go across forwards and backwards in those categories, to be honest with you. I mean, it might, but that's the question. What's going to go in one? What's going to go in two? What's going to go in all three? What ain't going to hit any all the way? So, and we don't know where the information is going to come from that's going to be key to figuring this, figuring things out either. With the Perry Stone Ministries, that was all in translations. But it's fine. I don't know what's in any, I don't know where the next one's going to come from. It could be one of these, any of these things on the stock market or anything we haven't hit yet. Of course, just because we haven't hit it doesn't mean we won't hit it in 100 pages of graph or even this 4.5 we're working on. But things that, there's a couple things that haven't been hit yet, and I'll just throw it out there. We haven't seen Apple on the stock market anyway, and we haven't seen IBM on the stock market or Microsoft on the stock market as far as I can remember, or we can remember right now. So there's a few things that have not been hit yet, then that might be key. What's not being hit might be key because, if Microsoft or Apple has a quantum computer or IBM, they're surely not hitting themselves on the stock market. So they wouldn't want to manipulate themselves. Maybe, but you'd be taking a risk that it would go the other way, right? So, yeah, some things to think about, and who knows, our next search might pull up one of those things that we just mentioned for all I know. We don't know. So, I'm going to let this video go at that. It's already at 13 minutes. I'm sorry about that. But that is a lot of information, and as we found out, who knows which information is going to be vital. Yeah, I mean, it all is. We want to establish a pattern and see what songs fall where, right? This one so far hit the finance. Will it hit the genetics though? And what will it hit the chemicals? And what will turn up in the random searches? And what will the translations end up coming out to? Will we get a name? You know what? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to find out, guys. And this is the one we'll all carry this through till it's done, till we're done with the translations. And then we'll move on to another song. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, subscriptions. Thanks for all your support you guys have shown and continue to show. Thanks for sticking with us and being patient, to those of you who are. And hopefully it'll pay off. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your night.